So you're interested in hatching your own eggs. First step, buy a really decent incubator. Um, I like my Sonova C35. There's plenty of them out there. Get one that's going to hold as many eggs as you want. Do you figure only 60% are going to hatch? 60 to 70%. Make sure you get a hydrometer, a round hydrometer to stick in the incubator. Make sure the readings are correct. Because if your temp or your humidity's off, you're gonna have a really low or no hatch rate at all. So that's really important. You can get those for just a couple of dollars on Amazon, eBay, Temu, any places have hydrometers. Second, you need to check and see if there's any local farms that are selling hatching eggs. Go to your Facebook farm groups and ask if anybody has any hatching eggs. Make sure you store your eggs point side down, the opposite of the way your eggs are in your container when you get them at the store. That way the air pocket is up at the top, okay? Let the eggs sit after you purchase them for 24 to 48 hours. If you choose to buy your hatching eggs on eBay, be warned that the hatch rate is normally around 60%, and if they're not packaged correctly, the air sac can get detached and you won't get any, your eggs won't hatch. So be warned, there's a risk when purchasing eBay eggs if they are not packaged correctly. And I can tell you for a fact, yeah, I've had that happen to me. Okay, do not, and I repeat, do not wash your eggs. This one has a little bit of gunk on it, but I'll just rub that off with a paper towel. You want them clean as possible, because they'll carry bacteria if you don't. Place them in the incubator at room temperature, and then I do it at day 8. I check to see if they're developing. Okay, you're gonna see veins. You're gonna see a dark spot. You're gonna see development. Okay, if it glows like bright and you can clearly see the yolk with no veins, that one wasn't fertilized. Discard those, take them out. Okay, then I check my eggs again. I use my cell phone in a dark room to check my eggs. You can get a egg light, but I haven't found it really necessary to do. Next step, day 14, check them again. Make sure they're developing properly. There's a lot of YouTube videos on chick developments and egg development. And check day 14 and see if yours looks like day 14. If it's stopped growing, let's say at day 10, you'll notice that there's a difference. Day 18, my final check of the eggs. I candle them again, make sure there's movement and all that stuff, or if it's real dark in there, that's the chick developing. You take your rollers out, and that's another thing. Get one with automatic rollers, the automatic turners. That will save you so much hassle. Anyway, you take your rollers out when you pull your eggs out to check them for the last time, and then you place the eggs back in the incubator. I always crack open a little bit of my vent to make sure there's plenty of oxygen and ventilation and everything like that. Do not lift the lid on your incubator from now on. It's called lockdown, and it's that for a reason. let them go. They'll start hatching, I swear. I would recommend for somebody starting, you get your eggs from a actual local source. It's the easiest way to do it. You can expect them to start hatching, and when one starts hatching, the rest of them seem to come out. Now, I did hatch some eggs. I'll post that as the pic for this. The thumbnail. I hatched their Black Jersey Giant Buff Brahma Cross. And out of 22 eggs, I had 10 hatch. Which, you know, some of them stopped developing. So out of the, I think it was 17 that was left, 10 hatched. But I think I could have got more. But they decided to hatch the day we got hit with Hurricane Helene and we lost power. So I tried to cover up the incubator as best as possible. So, you know, things can happen. Just things can happen. But anyway, that's how, leave them in the incubator until they are dry, until they're fluffy, because they're going to come out wet, okay? And what's really funny is when they hatch, okay, after they hatch, you may think they're dead. They're not dead, okay? Just let them be. Don't touch them. Don't do any of that. Let them be. Then they're going to start getting up on their own. They need to gather their strength. But the baby chicks at that age, when they're still in the incubator, are so funny because they're wobbling around like a drunk monkey, and then all of a sudden they just fall asleep and fall forward. It's the funniest thing. I was freaking out the first time that happened. Then I realized they all do it. Every one of them will do it. It's just really funny. Anyway, leave them in the incubator for at least 24 hours. Some people do it 48 hours, depending on the size of your incubator, okay? I have a second incubator that once they're dry, I transfer them over to that. So the other ones don't get disturbed while they're hatching. But temperature on your incubator needs to be about 99.5 to 100 degrees. And your humidity level needs to be between 50 and 60. You can adjust that. If your humidity is too low, like you're in Arizona or someplace like that, put a damp sponge in the bottom of the incubator, or even a wash rag or something like that to give some extra moisture. If not, you need to crack your incubator just a little bit. Put something in there like a bread tie or something like that to crack it, to give it a little bit more air to take some of that humidity out. Like I said, 50 to 60%. And then you'll adjust your temperature for that little crack that you have. You know, you might have to adjust your temperature a little bit more. But yeah, hatching eggs, I've done a ton of them. And yeah, just follow these instructions and you shouldn't have any problems. If anybody has any questions for me, leave them in the comment and I'll try to answer them. But yeah, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you found this video helpful. And I will talk to you later.